So today, let's go over the top 5 LLC creation mistakes, including how to fix them, so you don't have to make a mistake or can fix a mistake that you've already made. And by avoiding these mistakes, you get to build your business on a solid foundation. Okay, so here's something we already know. LLCs are extremely popular, and for good reason. The liability protection of an LLC limits your personal risk and exposure. And by having an LLC, you are able to now build your business credit. Not to mention that LLCs have amazing ownership flexibility, and every TikTok guru tells you you need one. So you may be surprised that mistake number 1 is having an LLC when you don't need one. Because despite an LLC being the most popular entity type, an LLC is not right for everyone. And here's why. The first downside to an LLC is the annual required state filings. Depending on the state that your LLC is incorporated in, you may be required to file an annual report called Statements of Information with your state. And the second downside to the LLC is the cost to form it and to maintain it. Now, I get it, right? Fees vary from state to state, but it may actually cost you to stay in good standing with your LLC every single year. You have initial fees, right? Like the LLC formation fees. You have annual renewal fees, tax preparation fees, and more. And look, I've seen many cases where the cost to maintain the LLC actually outweighs the profit that the business actually makes. Now, the third downside to having an LLC, and likely the most misunderstood downside to having an LLC, is that by simply having an LLC, you get no extra tax benefits when compared to a sole proprietorship, unless you are making over $50,000 in profit a year and are being taxed as an S Corp. So unless your business has a risk of being sued and your business has the potential to make over $50,000 in profit, then you may not need an LLC. But let's just assume, right, that your business needs the liability protection, and of course you plan to make more than enough in profits. You now have all the protection that you need for your business by having an LLC. Well, maybe, because most business owners that have an LLC make this next mistake that will leave them completely exposed. Here's how the mistake usually happens. Entrepreneur goes to form an LLC. Entrepreneur uses his or her home address as the principal office address. Entrepreneur lists his or her full name as the registered agent. And in a few days, the excited entrepreneur gets the confirmation that their LLC has been registered. And unfortunately, that entrepreneur just committed mistake number 2, which is using their home address as their business address. And you don't want to make this mistake, because when you do, a couple of things happen. First, it publicizes your home address. Anyone can Google your LLC and figure out exactly where you lay your head at night. And it also limits future flexibility, because every time you move, you now have to update your business address. And who wants to do that? Which sounds like a pain. And if you're like me, right, who has moved 3 times in 3 years, that can be a pain. So my suggestion to you would be to use a registered agent or a virtual address. This satisfies the legal requirement, right, when starting your LLC. But it also keeps your personal home safe, secure, and private. And having a registered agent that is not you isn't very expensive. And if you ask me, well worth it for the privacy and the protection. And on the plus side, you can also get all of your mail scanned, forwarded, and handled for you. So I've left a link in the description for a low cost but reputable registered agent service. And check them out before you form your LLC so that you can have privacy and protection. And if you already have an LLC but want that privacy and protection, they'll actually update that address for you free of charge. Now, this next mistake is such a pain to resolve that is better for you to catch it before it even happens. Because after searching for the perfect name for her business, Jessica landed on Creative Media Productions. And after paying for a domain, a website, and marketing materials, Jessica not only found out that other people were using that exact name, but she also found out that one company actually had the name trademarked. Now Jessica has to start completely over with a rebrand, losing time that she can't get back and money that she can't afford to waste. And that's why mistake number 3 is choosing an unavailable LLC name. You see, common advice when picking a name for your LLC is to pick something that is memorable, unique, and representative of your brand. And while that is solid advice, it's easier said than done when there are millions of businesses created every single day. On top of that, it's a must that you avoid 4 big mistakes. The first is legal action, because trademark holders can sue you if your name infringes on their intellectual property, because defending yourself is costly even if you win. Number 2 is lost brand momentum, because rebranding means redoing all of your marketing collateral, assets, and materials. Because starting from square one can mean losing all of your early work. And not to mention number 3, which is customer confusion, because similar names within regions or industries could mean that customers could mix up your company. And last but not least is the search engine challenges, because shared names dilute your SEO when it comes to finding you on search engines like Google and Bing. Well, you can avoid this mistake by thoroughly searching your state's business registry, trademark databases, domain databases, and name similarity before you start your LLC. So let's break that down even further. Check your state's business registry for active businesses with similar names or even the same name that you would like to use. Next, search the USPTO trademark database for the name that you want, and filter by location for registered marks in your state or local region. Next, verify website domain availability. If the .com of that name is taken, consider alternatives. And lastly, I would Google name variations. Look out for other similar names occupying that real estate on the search engines. In general, simply take the time to make sure that the name that you want for your LLC is unique and actually available to use. And I think that avoiding name disputes right now in the early stages is well worth it in the long run. Now, when you go to form your LLC, you're going to be asked to choose something called a NAICS code. Now, you could think of that NAICS code as an industry. The IRS, the SBA, and other US governments use the NAICS code to classify your business. For example, if the IRS believes that your tax return doesn't align with other businesses within that same NAICS code, they may flag your tax return for an audit. But there's more to NAICS codes than just tax returns, because traditional and alternative lenders use that code to determine the risk of lending to your business. So banks look at other companies within your same NAICS code and decide how they're doing and whether it's risky or not to lend to you. So be sure to avoid mistake number 4, which is choosing a high-risk NAICS code. Because having a high-risk NAICS code hurts your business before you even get off the ground. The first way is you being denied for loans and funding. Why? Because banks shy away from lending to risky industries to minimize defaults. Because insurance companies charge higher premiums for volatile industries. Then we have exclusions from you being able to go out and get a government contract, because many cities and states prohibit RFPs from high-risk businesses. And then we have fewer payment processing options. High risk means higher merchant account fees, with some providers simply rejecting applications altogether because of the risk. So some examples of high risk industries include auto dealerships, bars and nightclubs, cannabis dispensaries, guns and ammunition stores, pawn shops, and real estate. These are the industries that have higher chances of fraud, loan defaults, and greater risk. On the other hand, you have industries with low risk NAICS codes like accounting services, educational services, and legal services. These are the industries that are tightly regulated and therefore have lower risk when it comes to fraud. And as a result, banks are more relaxed when lending to them. So when you go to register your LLC, pick a NAICS code that is low risk, but also relevant to your business. Now, mistake number 5 is the absence of corporate governance. You see, eager entrepreneurs kind of race through LLC formation to start their business. I get it. But formalizing your internal structure is actually an important step. Without defined roles, procedures, and documentation, I promise you that chaos is right around the corner. Because without an operating agreement, debates over profit or voting rights have no clear guidelines. And without a registered agent, communication between members tend to break down. So proper corporate governance can prevent these issues by outlining division of ownership, how many LLC shares exist and how many go to each member. Also, member roles and hierarchy. We're talking defined responsibilities, decision-making powers, and leadership structure. And what about those standard operating procedures, also known as SOPs? These can help with guidelines for meetings, contributions, profit allocation, bookkeeping, and more. And last but not least, we have processes for dispute resolution. These are going to be the systems that help you to resolve conflict as they arise. So if those are the things to prevent before you start your LLC, one of our most popular videos will show you what to do after you start your LLC. So I want you to watch that next. So if you haven't already, go ahead and like this video for me. It truly helps the YouTube algorithm. And subscribe for more information that helps you save on taxes and increase your wealth. I'm Karan from LYFE Accounting, and I'll see you in the next video.